All right, I think I'm on. That beginning portion of these videos is never gonna make sense to me how or when it starts. Um, so today I am looking at the RX-93 new Gundam. This one is, of course, Emerald Ray's customized mobile suit designed just for him. This one is the entry grade, as you see here, which means this is the economy line. I got this one for free. I actually got a few of these for free. But with this one being what it is, it's a really simple and easy kit to get into. Realistically, you don't even need tools to build it, but I would not recommend doing that. You can do it if you are, just starting out. You can just pinch these things right off the runners. In fact, usually when you get these, they are already some parts pinched off because shipping, you get things mishandled, things like that. Um, as you see here, has a really nice box art, so it's quite appealing to uh, newbies, I think. I happen to really like the box art on this one. It shows, everything you see, everything you get. Oddly, this one doesn't come with fin funnels, not even like a one piece fin funnel. But if it is for entry grade, I think that doesn't matter that much because this would probably be for brand new beginners in the hobby. Now, the reason why I have it and why I have so many of them, even though I don't really need another new Gundam, is because they are one, inexpensive, and two, very easy to construct. So this one is perfect for me to one, show you how to do it, and two, uh, do it. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on the live stream. Hopefully, I can get to the end. I think it's a rather easy kit to do. I built it was the Expo New Gundam, I think. So that one came out. It might have been the Gundam based limited version. I'm not sure. But we're going to go ahead and open this guy up and I will show you what comes in the box. If you're a brand new beginner, you don't know what that's like, this might be fun. If you have ever built a Gundam before or even went to a store where they sell them, usually you can open these up. So you just open that guy up. It comes with a whole bunch of runners or trees, depending on what you were originally calling them when you first started. Um, I came in to this hobby through like military model kits, planes, tanks, etc. They call them trees, and so that's what I always used to call them. But people call them in the Gunpla hobby. They call them sprues, which is technically what they are. They're sprues. You can see each of these sprues has lots of parts, different colors, which makes it very easy to just assemble, and then you have a completed colored unit right out of the box. This one only has two stickers, which are just the insignia there for the Emerald Ray. Uh, that shows you who the pilot is, and that goes on his shoulder and on the shield. We're not going to put those on today because I do plan on painting this one afterwards, but let's go ahead and get these out and into the open. Let's see what that looks like. So many ways to open this one. They do come with, for the most part, those ridged plastic liners, so you can just rip them like that, and then kind of tear it open like this. Those come apart nice and easily. This one, for example, though, does not have that ridge. You can lift the back flap and kind of pinch it to open it. Or you can do what I do 90% of the time, and you get your hobby knife and you just kind of slice it. And that makes it nice and easy too. Thing is, you might not want to do that because you might cut into your sprue. Usually it doesn't matter too much. There's enough space in these guys where you won't get into that. Now, I mentioned that some of these might have come off during shipment. It looks like I was lucky in this case. Only a few of them kind of came apart there. It's one of those things, you know, some of them do, some of them don't. The hard part for me, because I don't have a lot of space in my house, in my room, in my shed. I should have room in my shed. That's why I bought it. But I don't. So one of the things I have issues with is storing these sprues while I'm building them. Now, I could set aside a place over here and just have them separately, but I want you guys to see them. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand them up inside the box here. And they have labels. So this one's A1. This one is A2. I'll put that behind here. We have B on the white and C for gray. And now let's stand these guys up here. That way when I need them, I can just grab them, pull them up here in front, and then we can build them. And as far as tools, what I like to use are my nippers. I used to have some single-sided nippers. I broke those. That is no fault of the nippers, the company that made them, or anything like that. I'm very careless. You've seen many times in my videos that I drop my nippers, I drop my parts, I drop my Gundam. It's clumsiness, but it happens. So you get your nippers. That is something that's very important. You want to get some sanding sticks of various types. I happen to like these ones here. They're spongy, but they're still rigid. You see that line in the middle? That's very inflexible compared to the rest of it. But this is soft enough where it gives just so slightly when you rub it on a model kit. You want to replace these every once in a while. I tend to not do that, and you get different colors. Sometimes that color can contaminate the plastic. Usually it doesn't, though. So you got this one. This one is a 600 grit, pretty fine, but it does cut into the plastic rather well. And then I have this one, which I think is like 2200 grit, something like that. It might be a lot finer than that. I don't remember what this one is, but this one's very smooth. You can hear it. Very smooth, and it brings a polished shine to parts after you've sanded them. The other thing you might need is a hobby knife. Sometimes you need these to clean your nubs. I will show you what a nub is after we get one of these parts off of the sprue. Sometimes you need new blades. Right now I happen to need one because I've done 3 model kits with this blade. That's about the limit. They start to go dull right around there. You might think that's a little wasteful, but realistically these are pretty cheap. You can get a set of these for not too much from your hobby shop. I got this one from, I think it's Amazon is where I got these ones from. And I think it's 2 packs for $6. So it's not really a lot of money. And it comes with, I think when it was brand new, it had 200 of these. Might have been 100. So it might be 200 for the 2 packs. But that comes out. Unscrew this guy. And then slide him in. There are better knives. You can use scalpels. You can use things like that. As long as it's a blade and it's flat and you know you can trust it strong enough that when you push it, it's not going to bend too much. You should be able to use that. Another thing you might want to use is something like a Gundam marker. These ones are panel liners. And what these do is all of these little kits, they come with some very fine detail. You know, you have these little divots here, and you have things like little recessed areas. I know what a panel liner does is it highlights the shadow areas. So like say here, you see this weapon has those lines in there, and you can see them, but if you put a panel liner in there, it'll show up darker and deeper. So it looks like it gives it more depth, more detail. It lets that detail be more visible. So that is something that you might want to use. Normally, I'd say go ahead and use it. But this time, like I said, this one is going to be painted afterwards, so we're not going to do that. But I might show you guys what it looks like on video just to show you how that looks. All right, so I am ready to go. So we get our instructions here. And this one, like I said, is going to be rather easy because it is an entry grade. They make sure to make everything really loud and clear for you. They give you all these English right here on the number 1 spot. Usually these things are in Japanese, but I know that this one is meant for the US market. So of course you got English, it looks like French, and then Spanish. So you see here, we need the D sprue, which I thought was a C, A1, B, and A1 again. So just 3 sprues. Let's go ahead and get the parts. So it said A17. So on your tree, it's always going to be labeled from the top down to the bottom right. Some of them are a little wonky. Some of them are really crazy, especially the older ones. But these ones, it's going 1 down here, then 3 down here. So it's a little bit messed up. But A17 is right here. So we're going to get our nippers. We'll go ahead and cut them out. So you leave a little bit of space. Now, on most model kits from Bandai, when you cut these, it's going to stay on that. Because this one has what they call a touch gate, it doesn't necessarily do that. Sometimes you'll see it shoot off. But that's because these are designed, like I said, to be pinched off. And you can actually do that. I'll show you right here. See this one here? Because this one's going to be mostly hidden, you can actually just push this out like that. And it comes off relatively clearly. You see there's not really any nub on there. But normally what you want to do is get as close as you can to the part and then cut. And then that's nice and clean here. And you see here, this one actually has vents on the bottom of it. A lot of these heads usually don't. But I'm going to go ahead and show you what the panel liner does and looks like. Now this one is a soft felt pen. So what you'll do is you just kind of touch it into those lines and it kind of flows into them. So you see, just one touch adds that graying effect. So it looks like those vents are deeper than they really are. And sometimes that can add a lot to your kit. So don't be afraid to try something like this. There's other methods, but a Gundam marker is really good. There's also pour type markers, which are easier to panel line, but they're also more of a mess and you'll need to clean them up more. I don't have anything to clean them up with in here, so I'm not going to do any other areas, but right down there I think is a pretty easy area to see. And you can see it didn't go outside of the line, so nice and easy. Got that nice and detailed, so I like it. And then we need the D1, and I believe this is the D. It isn't. Okay, so this is C. Where's the D? I think that was that little square one. It's in here, right? There it is. Okay, so D was this little guy. All right, and that's a rather interesting color now, isn't it? I don't know how I feel about it. But obviously this is going to be the top of the head, so we're going to go ahead and cut slightly away, slightly away, slightly away. Take this one into the trash pile, and then we're going to cut off these nubs. And when I say nubs, that's like this leftover piece of the sprue that's still stuck on the part. So just cut that right off. I'm sure everyone who's going to watch this has already tried to build a Gundam before. So I'm probably just saying what you already know. But in case you didn't, I definitely want to try to get you guys on board. So if you hear someone say, oh, that one has nub marks, what they mean is right here. Let me see if I can get it to focus here. All right. So you see right here, there's a little white flash. And what that is a very small part of that sprue that's still remaining on here. You can sand that guy off with your sanding stick. Because this one isn't going to be shown, I'm just going to go ahead and slide my razor over it and clean that up just like that. It's nice and easy, keeps it clean. There you go. All right, and if there's any more remaining after that, and what you really should do anyway, is just run that over just a couple times to make sure everything's flat. This is a really poor example of a part that you should be sanding because it's very small, but that's what I have right now. This is step 1, so we have to deal with that. And then we put those together, slide into place. They slide into place real easily, but that is going to be the beginning of the head. And then we already need a B part. We need B1, which is right here, and we'll need B8, which is right below it. You can see those are head parts, so let's go ahead and grab them out. And snip this guy just like that. There goes his mouth part, and there goes his head. Now, you see there that I cut nice and close to it. I didn't leave any sprue on there. The reason I did that is because I want to see if you guys can see the little leftover and why I don't think you should build these without tools. So you see that little guy up there that's leaving a shadow on the mohawk? That is why you should use nippers. And like I said, you should snap partially away about a 1/4 inch and then snip it off after it's there. Because if you snip it off right off the sprue, usually it leaves a little dingler like that. So you can just sand that away with one of those sticks. That's nice and easy. We don't want to go too deep because then you will start tearing away plastic from the rest of it, but just enough to get that nub off. And if you do have to go a little bit deeper, because sometimes you do that. And if there's any markings, like you can see, if this let me stream in higher definition, it would probably show that. There's a couple of little scratches there. This one you can actually see the nub right. Come on, focus on my hand. Well, you can see it right there on the cheek. Oh man. Real fun with this focusing. Okay, right there. You see it? That little guy looks like he got kissed. Just scrape that off with the sanding stick. Nice and gentle. Don't force it. Don't press down on it. Let the sandpaper do the work. And that comes off. All right. With that one done, Go ahead and sand these guys off. Okay. And we'll get this mouth part on. It's already looking like a Gundam. But watch this. Oh boy. Haha. My giant robot is now on the floor. If I was in the shot, sorry, my hair is a mess. But there he is. If I could get this to focus, that would be rad. There he is. Now, the really cool thing about the entry grade, and I think it's kind of phenomenal actually, is that there isn't any black in the eyes. The eyes are just that green part that we have, that part on the D sprue. And the black that's in there is formed just by the shadow of how everything else came together. And I think that's really cool. So it's just negative space, but it looks dark. It's pretty cool. The next bit, we're going to put on his V-fin. Most Gundams actually have V-fins. I won't get into why or how because I'm not exactly sure on the lore on most of them. But that little gem there and that V-fin are a very common appearance on Gundam. So I'm going to go ahead and get those. And my nippers are over here. So we will go away from about a 1/4 inch. I'm going to be really careful on this one because these are very, very thin parts. Okay, these break all the time. And we're going to go ahead and go close as you dare, and then snip. Woo! Close as you dare, and then snip. And then close as you dare, and snip. Okay, and there's actually some nub still on there. So what we'll do, because I won't get this big old stick in there. If I had a smaller one, I would show you how to do that. But I'll just scrape this off with this. Don't do the way I'm doing it. It's kind of dangerous. What you want to do is go this way. That gets it nice and clean. Okay, and we'll put this guy on here. There it is. And we got to get A8. A8 is right here. It's this dark blue part. We'll go ahead and cut it up close. There we go. Hey Dan, how you doing, bud? Yeah, it seems like it's working. I'm trying to show how we build our Gunpla. And now I know I don't have the best habits on doing it, but for beginners, I definitely wanted to see if I can show off my skills on my entry grade here. This one's gonna come apart after I finish it because I need to paint it, but for now, looking pretty stylish there. All right, so that's the head. And for the time being, we're just gonna set him aside. Normally what I would do at this point, if I was gonna just display it right out of the box, is I would panel line it. Make sure that all the little cracks and crevices covered up. If I was gonna do a review, I would not do that. I'd finish that afterwards. Make sure everyone can see how it looks straight out of the box. All right, so the next bit, we're going to get the parts from C and B. So we need B 18 and 19. And that's right here and right here. So like I told you, a little bit away, a little bit away, a little bit away. We have that part. That's number 19. 18 will a little bit away, a little bit away, and hopefully that one doesn't break off there. A little bit away. Boom. And then for sprue C, we need number 4, and that's here. It's upside down, but you can see that's number 4. A little bit away. Right there. And right there. Okay. And then we'll cut it close as we can. You can see that one has that little white mark. We'll sand those down. Mr. Flames, what's going on, buddy? I didn't see people were joining me. Okay, there we go. I think Dan the Man was here, but he seems to have disappeared. Okay, there we go. And then we're going to go ahead and get my sander. And we're going to go ahead and do it. So, if you can see on this one, it's actually beveled just a bit. Let's see if I can get it to focus again. Man, that's going to be a pain in the butt, this stream. All right, so this part here is on a different dimension than this one here. So I need to sand this and make sure to get it nice and flat here. And then that one's nice and easy because it's just a little guy. And then this one, I think, yeah, it's all on one plane, so it should be easy. Hello. Who else is here? We got 3 people now. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this one. Just a couple passes with this. And then nice and easy on this one on that bottom plane. Make sure you get that nub mark off. Okay. That's that one. These ones come out this way. The hollow under the feet on this guy? I built one of these before. I don't remember there being hollow. There might have been. I might not have been paying attention. But that one was, you know which one it is? It's the one for the, no, I don't want to do that. The statue. So he's got that long beam rifle. But I don't remember the feet being hollow underneath. I guess we'll get to it on this one. All right, and then we have this guy. This one's that real smooth guy. Get that shine back on it. So it looks like the rest of it. How was the contest I went to? You know, it was so much fun. It was tons of fun. I just I wish we won. Ranch did, but I didn't. So that was quite a thing. Still, I wish I won, and I know Jerry wishes he won, and I know, yeah, it was one of those things. Okay, so we're gonna go like this. This part goes up this way. I was about to put it on upside down. Slide this guy in here, just like that. And right on in here, like so. Boom, boom. Does Falco or Sam ever show up? No, I don't. I didn't put this one out like in the open, and I don't know if either of them are subscribed to me, so I don't know if they got notifications or anything. I believe Sam showed up once when I posted it. All right, the next bits are 9 and 10, and that's this one and this one, so good and easy. Indeed, it did have some bias. We thought that some of the judging was a little unusual. Not going to complain too much because they at least had the volunteer judges there, which I'm not 100% sure on how the judging worked. So I can't say 100% that the judge was 100% biased, but some. And yeah, Ranch won, so it's one of those things. Ranch won second place in beginners, and to be perfectly fair to Ranch, the one that beat their kit was exceptionally well done for a beginner. So I tend to agree with that. But then we did have people who were complimenting our kits. You know, it was one of those things. But you know, as far as the contest, I think it was fun for everyone. At least just going there. All right, and so we want to send this guy off and make sure we don't go too deep. You see that little white mark? Sometimes you're going to get those white marks, especially on darker colors, that you cannot get rid of because what you did when you cut that one, you stressed the plastic out, and that's not really your fault. It's just kind of how plastic works. So you can't stress too much on that one. Realistically, the only ways to fix that, and I'll show you at least one of them, are painting or de-stressing with cement. So I'm going to show you how that works on this one, and we're going to give it time to dry off. So it does take a little bit. Ranch is not my brother. Ranch is my sibling, so it's a neutral gender. All right, so you shake that guy up. And you just kind of dab that on there. Sometimes that still shows up. So it's one of those things. But if you put cement on plastic, very, very, very likely that what is going to happen is it's going to relax the molecules in that plastic. It's going to make them ease out and kind of let that plastic go ahead and go back to its original state. And I will see if that worked. So you still see a bubble where that one is. And there's nothing wrong with saying brother or sister. Ranch usually doesn't mind either way, but for me, it's my sibling, which is the neutral. So let me go ahead and do that. Boom. This one's sanded while we wait for that one to dry. And usually when you build a high grade or master grade or something like that, there's going to be kit inside this one. These ones are just sandwiched together, and then you're going to add everything on top of it. So it's like they're saying, very hollow. So that's interesting to me. And asks, just curious, who did you learn your stuff from in the hobby? And oh yeah, no, that's definitely right, Mr. Flames. You don't want to touch the cement while it's drying. That will leave a very fun fingerprint, which will cause the biggest headache of your life to try to clean up. I happened to do that on one of my very expensive model kits once, and that was fun to clean up. But as far as for Dan, who taught me? I actually learned how to do model kits when I was 12 years old. And that was mostly from my dad, who said, hey, you know what? I got these model airplane kits from a friend at work. Do you want to put them together with me? And I said, yes. So we went and we spent, I think it was like 3 weeks, putting a SI-71 together. And we put together an B, I don't remember what that one is. It's called a Valkyrie, though. That one, we finished gluing it all together. It did not look good. And when when we finished it, he had bought some Testors paints, and I don't like Testors paints. And the reason why is because when I put Testors paints on this kit, it did not look good. The paint didn't apply evenly. When you try to recoat it, when you try to do another layer, it smears everywhere. It's not a good experience. There is a lot of issues with Testors paint, but man, it was a fiasco. And then you are asking, LOL is asking, are you done with contests this year? That is an affirmative for the most part. That is why did it hide that? I'll read that one out after. But as far as contests go, I think the only one that we really have is the end of the year meetup, and it's not really a contest. It's just bring a kit that you're gonna do up, and this is the one that I'm gonna do up. So that's why I want to build this one on the stream, because it is like a really easy kit, and to see if I can elevate this to a pretty good standard. Hopefully, yeah. And then Mr. Flame says Tester sucks, and that it's just a bad brand. And that is very true. It is rather a bad brand. It is something that old people stuck with for years and years and years, and there really was no reason for it. It's an American brand with very inferior product, which is just odd to me, because, you know, people really like talking up American brands. Either way, I think because they didn't have any competition for so long, they just sat on their laurels and said, hey, we're the only one in business, so we'll leave it at that. And then you can see here the scuff from where I sanded it. I could continue to go on with this white one here and smooth that out, and that will disappear. It'll look exactly the same as everything around it. But again, I'm painting this one, so I'm gonna leave those there. That is something you ought not do. It looks bad, but because I'm gonna paint it again, no reason for me to worry about it. You can see that one is drying, and you don't see the white spot anymore. There is a little bubble under that. Hopefully I can cover that one up. I'll probably have to sand it once it's fully dried and make sure that that's all nice and smooth and level, so when I paint it, there's not going to be a little divot in there. All right, so there's that one. Let me go ahead and put this together with this one, because these are the same part here. That goes in right here. Boom. Did I do that right? There we go. don't want to put my fingers on where that thing is. There you go. Not too bad. This is looking very chest-like. How am I painting it? Now, that's... Where is the thingy? It's a fun question because I went to Hobby Lobby and I found some really neat stuff. I was originally going to paint it white with the crystal effect, and I think Mr. Flame seeing my crystal effect technique, I was going to refine that one and test it on this one. I have a couple of ideas, but I found these, and these inspired me to do a new colorway. So I'm going to paint it similarly to this. And in the light indoors, it has a kind of purple effect. And outdoors, it looks very blue. So it's going to be tricky to capture that. And I see what you say there, Mr. Flames. Parts being difficult to disassemble. I've been able to do that on most of the parts. I know what you're talking about. It's going to be mostly these ones here. And the one on the neck. I should be able to do it. If not, then, have another one. So you can always just use another one. But we'll see. Hopefully I can use this one. And you guys will see it from start to finish. But yeah, this is the inspiration to the color scheme. I have a bag full of them. And yeah, no, they see, there's the blue right there. But this should be really fun to do. Hopefully I can pull it off all right. Mr. Flames was lucky enough to get a sample of my spoon, which, I tested some paints out. I think it's an 80%. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll probably show that on here pretty soon anyway. Okay, so next is B14. And that is one of the issues that you'll see with disassembling a Gundam, that sometimes when you want to put parts back together, they don't always work the way you want them to. Taking things apart is often very difficult, and I think it was a C part here. C3. There we are. But we'll definitely get it done one way or the other. I should have a really beautiful kit by the time I'm done. Even if it's not 100% what I want, I have a couple of salvage ideas just in case that one didn't work right. And I can always go back to the original crystal effect and get the white crystals. So these are quartz, and I think they're contaminated with steel. They use like iron and steel, and then they cook them. So that's how they get that effect. I think if I just find the white ones, I can do the other effect. And they had some, so and it was actually cheaper than those ones. I don't want to use that. So yeah, no, I think overall my idea is going to be a good one, but we'll see. Okay. And then I got to be real careful here because, like I said, that one is glued right now. It's cemented together, so I don't want to touch that area. Should be fine like that. We'll see though. And then we get the neck. I opted not to sand this one down because it doesn't look too bad. There is a noticeable little guy there. Let's go ahead and get it off. I might just use this guy. we go. And now we take him, put that right on in there. Okay. Now we need A11 and A1 and 2. You ever think about making videos featuring kits from your other club members? Yes, I have, and I was actually going to ask Jerry on the next meetup if I can borrow one of his kits. We'll see if he says yes or no. That's probably pretty iffy because I live a long way away from the people in my club, and we don't meet up except for like once a month. I mean, we can probably do like, okay, so because it's Jerry, and we've already done a couple of things together in the past, like the IPMS and the SCGMC, we can probably just meet up separately somewhere else and I can give him his kit back. But yeah, no, that's something that I have thought about a lot. The other guy is Juan, which he used to run the Brookhurst Model Club, the Mecha Club, but because he lives a little bit further, or well, he doesn't live further away. He works further away. I don't know if he'll let me do that either. It's worth a try asking, or I could do it at the club. We'll see. It'd be fun too. I've already asked Ranch if I can show off their kit, and that's a yes, but because apparently there's some issues with it getting scuffed, and we'll see what happens there. And I'm gonna show you guys my entries, but I haven't been able to get to that yet. All right, I want to make sure these guys don't have any rough parts. What a pretty looking kit. All right, and then this one goes on this side. Right on in there. And yeah, that does secure in there pretty well, so I could see how that's gonna be trouble taking it out. We will see. But Jerry in particular has a very good eye for shiny kits, and I'm absolutely in love with them, which is why the last two kits I made were shiny, because I wanted to emulate the man. I've never done shiny kits before. Usually I'm like, oh yeah, let's get them dirty and gruff and make them look well used. And I mean, you see my Izumo, my R-Type. I want them to be dirty and, like I said, gruff. But I do like the nice shiny look too. I didn't think I would as much as I ended up liking it on the Alex Gundam and the Nirin. All right, cool. So Jerry says that he would be down to let me see and review a kit. That would be cool. I'd love to do that. Okay, next is the backpack section. And that one looks like a lot of fun. Make sure that the parts are facing the right ways and in the right positions. All right, so these guys out here, we start with A19, which is this skeleton frame looking guy. You know I want your Zagok. Jerry, which kit? That would be, yeah, definitely the Zagok. That one is my favorite so far that you've made, and it's that technique that I fell in love with so much that I bought all this material for it. Like, I'm gonna do that too, and I have yet to do anything with it. So we'll see about doing something like it too. And I'm going to steal all those high quality images so that I can study it when I have it here. Okay, let's get these all cleaned up. This one's going to be kind of cool because those ones are going to be hidden. You see the thrusters on this guy. Ranch likes to call them funnels, and I laugh because in Gundam that's the bits that move around. The technique that I am speaking of is the marbling technique, which in this instance entails wrapping material over and then spraying over it. So we have a certain material that he and I got some of. He has another material, and then I have different material that would cause different effects. But you can see, it looks like so much fun, right? That's so pretty to me. He has a Zagok, which has like a lava motif, and I happen to really love it. It's pretty epic to me. So that one, oh no, it's the spoon paint that. Yeah, no, you bring out the spoon. That's something that we do when we're trying out techniques, and I just happen to have those ones next to me, so that's the thing. You said, "Dan, well, where did you learn that?" I don't remember initially where I saw that, but it was something that's been in the back of my head for a long time. I think I saw it personally. I think I saw it on a miniatures video, so there's that. But Jerry recently brought it up, and he's like, "Hey, so you know that technique where you make marbles with material like a netting?" And I'm like, or like the baby wipes, right? That was what it was. So you get a dry baby wipe and you kind of stretch it out. Actually, it can be wet too, but you want to get the chemicals out of it. So you rinse it off, and then you kind of stretch it, and then you put it over, and you kind of spray over that. There's other ways to do that technique, such as making it real wet, applying a material to pull it off. So like a scrunched up newspaper or foil, things like that. Then you get a different pattern with those. I happen to like the layered effect more. So like adding things on top of, instead of pulling things away from, because that's a little bit more dangerous. What if you go too far? What if you press too hard? What if you scratch it? Kind of thing. But yeah, that's why I did it with, well, the netting. That it was actually Jerry that showed me. So I was pretty impressed with how that looked. So am I going to do this one right? This one goes this side. Then these thrusters. No, it's got to be this way. That's what I get for sanding them and not paying attention. But yeah, no, it's a technique that's been around for a while, especially for miniatures. War gamers like the most unusual techniques. They really do come up with some stuff. So if you ever feel like you want to try something new, look up Wargamer Paint and just see what they come up with, because honestly, they do have a lot. For weathering, my favorite is military models. They do chipping, things like that. They come up with some real good ideas for weathering. But when it comes to like effects and paint techniques and ways to get like, realistically, it's the effects. That's where they really shine. Dan the Man says that's no Zaku boy, no Zaku. It's a goof boy. I mean, there's no goof here. And yes, indeed, it was at the last contest. I marked that one out on the Xeon 144 set, and definitely a cool one. He has the picture frame. It has the kind of the picture frame, and it's like sticking off on the side there, which I think that's a really cool design for a diorama display without taking anything away from the kit itself. I think it actually elevates it quite a bit. But yeah, no, definitely check for it in the video because it's there. Now we need A15. Boom, 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 boom. That's this one. Who won? So the thing is, I don't know who won. I was there, and I did get to see a lot of who won what, but I don't remember the names. I can check the SCGMC site, and we can post that later, but it probably won't because it'll be on the SCGMC site. Overall, there wasn't like any direct winner there. On the Xeon side, I think there was one. I don't remember. Mostly I stayed to see who won in my category because it wasn't me. But that one wasn't a category I personally competed in, so I didn't stay to listen. I was helping out the Gunpla Hermit with his shop, so which is kind of a shame because me and Ranch were packing up when they started announcing, and Ranch didn't actually get to hear that they won, so that was quite a thing. And that is this way, right here. Ranch didn't get their medal till after. The site hasn't updated yet, huh? That's what I was gonna ask if you can take a look for me since I am doing this. I don't even think they updated last year. Which is, like you said, kind of garbage. That one goes this way. I should sand that off because it's blue, but I'm going to leave it like that. Boom. And one more. Boom. So one thing about these round parts, it's kind of a pain in the ass to sand them off perfectly. So what I kind of do is like, how you pet a dog or a cat? You just kind of go over it. Don't press down too hard, just kind of float it over. That's how I do it with those. They don't update, they don't spell check, they kind of lie on how they judge. Yeah, I agree. No, we were talking about that the other night, right? About how they say they judge and how it looks like things actually get judged. Two different things. It's a real shame because they seem like they're a good place to go to if you're a Gunpla builder. And we went to the IPMS, which it's a model kit group. And realistically, model kit groups, they find these Gundams kind of a passing fad, which is weird because they've been around for a long time now, and I don't think they are going to fade away. But you hear a lot of old fogies say, "Oh, those Gundam guys," which is the kind of the premise of why they made the club for SCGMC. I think it's called Those Gundam Guys, and it makes sense. That's what they wanted to do was give those Gundam guys a place to go that was all their own, but it kind of seems like the judges or the person who's holding the event, he just kind of made an event to praise himself and his buddies. Exactly. It's a passing fad for the last 20 years. It's been around, or the last 40 years. It's been around for a long time. It's not going away. And I was talking to a couple of the older folks over there at the SCGMC, and by older I mean like really older. Like, I was impressed with this guy's age, and he was showing me some of his cars that he had built. We went to the IPMS where this guy competed, and he told me that not only did he not place, but he was passed by because the car that he had built was unrealistic. So the judges took a look at his and said, that doesn't look like a real car. We're going to take off points for that. We're not going to look at it. We're just going to walk away. And he said, well, I mean, that was kind of the point of it. It's not something I could build in real life, but I can build it in a model kit form. And, a lot of people knocked the saying in Gunpla is freedom. But I told them that, I said, people make fun of it, but it's true. You can build anything here. And when we build wild kits, like things that are completely unrealistic, these are plastic robots, they're already unrealistic. So I said it was fine. So build what you want. And so this 80-year-old man told me that next year he wants to enter something. And I'm like, that's pretty incredible. I'm hoping he does, and I hope he does well. I don't know if he will, because like we've been saying, it's not exactly the fairest of judging schema, but we'll see. No, I'm with you on that one, because honestly, it does seem like a thing. I remember last year I was there at the SCGMC, and the judge announced himself the winner in one of the categories, and then said, well, look, guys, I was just better than you. And everyone booed. So I think that's why he kind of changed it out. So he said, I got these volunteer judges and things like that. But really, it was, it's kind of a thing, He's kind of known for, well, this is my club, I do it for me kind of guy. Yeah, see, the creative kits, they just kind of got overlooked, and it was like, okay, so this is a new Gundam. Painting it the way I'm going to paint this, I think they won't like it because it's different. But if it's you and Jerry and Dan the Man, I think you guys will like it because it's different. Everyone's seen a new Gundam if you watch Gundam. Newbies maybe not, but it's bad. It's we'll see how it goes. Like, honestly, I'm excited to go to next year's, but like Jerry had said the other day or yesterday, what was it, yesterday? It kind of makes you not want to go because it just feels like they don't care about your creativity. They just want to see that you painted it exactly like it's supposed to look. And like we're not sure how unfair it is. If realistically the judges that they got said, hey, this one's better than yours, good for them. Like, really, it's a thing. But the ones that you expected to win, like just being in the crowd, those weren't the ones that won. It's like they really thought that one was better than this one. Okay, I guess. And I mean, I'm not one to stand up there and say, hey, this isn't fair. Unless it genuinely is. Like last year when they booed him, I thought that was pretty cool, and I booed with them. I was like, yeah, no, you can't just, I was better than you guys. But it is what it is. We have to deal with the constraints of where we're at. I'm glad that when we went to the IPMS, that they did give us all a fair shake. I think that really, because they don't know how to judge Gunpla as much, that they just judge based on the ability of the painter, the technique behind it. So if it was a very creative build, say like Jerry's very creative Marine Gundam or his very fantastically well done Phantom, they judged it just based off of the paint skill instead of based on the subject matter, which, you know, people see the Gunpla and they're like, oh, that's nice. I don't like that Gundam, but, you know, it's one of those things. And I don't know if that's what they did at the SCFGMC, but right now I'm just kind of venting while I'm building. Probably not the best idea. Okay. And this is supposed to be my tutorial, so I'm doing a bad job complaining about contests. This is a finicky part here. To be really, really, really careful with these kind of bits here, because you'll break them like I just did. And that was surprising where it broke. I actually thought it was going to break down here. But that's supposed to push into there and not break like what I did. So we're going to leave that one off. Okay, so there's that guy. This one is supposed to have a really cool looking little fin. Comes off of it right here, but I broke that in half. So we're leaving that one as it is. And that one goes right here. It's a pretty neat spot. And this one plugs right into his back. Boom. Now, at this point, you could plug your head onto it, but as you see, this one keeps falling over, so don't do that. All right, next is brazos. So we're going to build those arms, and then we're onto the legs. Nope, okay, left arm, right arm. Okay, let's go ahead and start on the arms. A fun little mod I did was drill a hole on the shield barrel because it isn't actually a cannon. That is true. We do have some fun stuff on these things that aren't always represented on the model kits out of the box. On this guy, that should be a cannon. You see how it looks like one. Okay. I'm gonna stop getting distracted here. Yes. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I just got a late dinner. Actually, what time is it? I don't even know. Boom, we need the A and B sprues. Okay, so B, we need 24 and 25, and we need that twice. So that's one of the cool things they do now that they didn't used to. Is they actually label them the same. So 24 right here is both 24, whereas before it might have been a different number. And they kind of confuse you with saying, oh, you need 24 and 25 and 26 and 27. But you build them both the same way. Now, that's not usually a big deal, but sometimes it get confusing. Boom, boom, And ooh, don't do that. There. Back to my ace brew, and we need 4. 4 is the little yellow guy. You know, it's getting pretty cold out during these months. I mean, it should have been cold a while ago, I think. But now that it's November, I can actually see my breath, and that's fun. I hear you, Chakotay. Do you want my food that David just brought me? I'm so glad that you volunteered my food for your belly. She's so cute. All right. I don't know if everyone is aware, but it is like the Gundam Expo right now. If you go on P Bandai's website and you live in the United States of America, then you can get yourself some really cool deals on some G-Base stuff. I don't personally want anything this year. I had like 2 years ago, I bought some, like all of it. I bought hundreds of dollars of stuff. I think I spent like $1,000. This year though, I don't have that kind of money to burn, so I've been thinking about getting a couple of the clear kits, but realistically, I don't think I will. I am going to go to the Kotobukiya warehouse sale, which is in Torrance, California, not terribly far from where I live. And by not terribly far from where I live, meaning about 2 hours away. So we'll see. But I definitely want to go. Should be good stuff there. I love my Kotobukiya, so. And yeah, it is mostly the same as last year, which was mostly the same as the year before, with like just a couple variations. Realistically, there's not much different. So I might just leave that whole deal alone. But there are a couple of clear kits that I want to get. Mainly, I want to get the core Gundams, the clear core Gundams. But if I can't, then you know it is what it is. They are kind of pricey, $22 a piece, and for all 3 of them, that would be, you know, $66. That's a pretty good penny. But knowing that they are reprinting them every year means that I can probably wait till next year. They just sit in my backlog, like the current set of core Gundams I have is still sitting. Let's see, how come I can't get those in there? Someone's street racing out there. There we go. I do tend to like the G-Base kits more than most of the regular P Bandai stuff because there is some actual exclusivity to it. Like, what I mean is, it only comes out once a year. Excuse me. But yeah, no, I don't know if there's anything that I need besides those core Gundams. And I was not sure if I'm gonna buy anything though. Okay. So we're gonna get B11. We'll see, maybe they'll come out with something like brand new and then we won't be able to resist it. But more than likely they won't. Because anything that's there is probably already announced. And we got... This is what I mean by how they used to label things. So you got 15 and 7, and then 14 and 10, and then 13 and 9. When it's just 24 and 25, it makes it a lot easier to read. Now, I know they just mean get the two items that look exactly the same, which would be 15 and 7, and 14 and 10, and 13 and 9. But sometimes it's like, whoa, what am I looking at here? Especially when it's like in multiples of 4. Because 2 is easy, you know. We just figure out which one's which. But we got 15 and 7 right here. Clip those out. There we go. Oh, wait. I'm going to get 14 and 10. So 14 and 10. There we go. Let's cut these guys off. These ones will need to be sanded because you see they're not coming off quite as easily as the other stuff. Do I ever paint kits in their normal colors, or is it always custom? Most of the time, actually, I paint them in their normal colors, like this guy here. This is just his normal colors. I guess it would be custom, actually, because he's supposed to be like a minty green, almost like this color. But I hate that color on these guys, and I think that white suits them just fine. Do you see where I can kind of like messed up down there? This is hand brush, so no airbrush. Yeah, no, I definitely like painting things in their original colors. This one's also in his original. You see, he's pretty cool. There's a lot of detail that I didn't put on him. I just kind of did all the gold. That's one of the things that I like to do, though. Just normal colors. See, you say it's sometimes white, and I agree with you, though, but people hate that I paint them white. My old dead gym is also in white. And then I painted this one. This guy, he's kind of dead now, but you see where the original paint is like rubbing off. This is apple barrel paint from Walmart. A lot of my paints that I paint by hand with are apple barrel and, you know, the stuff that you get at Walmart, just nice and cheap. I don't tend to spend too much money. Yep, nice balls. I did a sculpture of a ball before, and I thought that one was pretty exceptional, but that one kind of deformed in the fire, so he went in the trash. That was before I got all my other balls. I didn't think I would ever see them for sale because it's so old of a kit. And that was like right after I first started too. What was it, 2018? So I was like, I'll just sculpt one. And it came out pretty good. I have some pictures of it somewhere. I'll have to find them. I do like to do sculpture. I don't think this part's going to be showing, but... Oh, no! Launch that sucker. There we go. What's up, baby? There we go. But as far as the urine that I entered, that was also a normal color. That was how it was released. I just did it in shiny as opposed to a dirtied up version. I think my hands are cold, so I might have to stop building in here. Losing grip on these guys. Oh, one of the techniques I learned, and this is a very strange one, but you know how I kind of put cement on to relax that the molecules in that white spot, that stress mark. So on softer polystyrene plastics, which a lot of these inner frame kind of things are, if they have white bits like that, instead of using that cement, you can kind of just scratch it with your nail. And that sort of relieves the stress on it. And sometimes you can get it to go away. I did it on this side. But you can see it's kind of darker. Let's see if there's another one. See that one right there? We just kind of scratch that one up. And then it fades away. I don't know how that one came to be, but I've done it on 100 million tanks when they use that really cheap polystyrene to make them. I don't know why. American model kits, though, sometimes they're awful. And Revel was the worst. But they used to have really bad stress marks on them. And instead of using cement, I just kind of did that scratch technique. And that works pretty decently on most kits. So if it's a softer plastic, if it's the real hard stuff like this one, I don't know how to tell, like, okay, so these are both polystyrene. Did you hear when I cut this, that real hard snap? Whereas this one, I mean, you kind of still hear it too. But this is a very soft polystyrene. It's, you can almost scratch it apart, you know, like scratch a groove into it. Whereas this one, it's very hard, very smooth. And a lot of that has to do with the consistencies that they need to make white with, because white plastic is actually difficult to injection mold. But we'll see that. Yeah, no, I don't want to melt a kit and call it a diorama. Although I think there was one Alex Gundam that had that kind of damage on it. It looked really cool. And I did have a house fire, and I did have some Gunpla kind of, mostly it's the polycaps that melted, but no, I'm not going to do that. It's a fun idea. It is. Don't do it, please. Don't melt your kits. There's too much. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll do it live on stream. No, just kidding. All right, there we go. That's that one. My idea, no steal. There you go. You're gonna win every time now. All right. Just melted. Oh man, that's funny. It's that one, and then this one is right here. Oh man, I'm excited about tomorrow, and tomorrow is Friday. So Friday, what I'm doing is I'm going down the hill, which is what I call the territory between the beach and the Inland Empire, because I live on the top of a mountain in what we call in California the high desert. So being high on top of the mountain, any place down below is down the hill, which it's not a hill, it's a mountain, but that's what we call it. But I'm going to go to a couple of shops to see if they have any Leos. And I also need to get some more clear paint. So look out for that one. I have some ideas for artsy builds. I remember you talking about them, and I am actually genuinely excited to see what comes of those. Because you already have quite the technique down for paint. And I think the ones that you were talking about sound like a lot of fun. Just don't make a macaroni sculpture, you know. That would be funny, but I don't think it would win anything. Okay, you say why Leos. I can't give it away, but let's just say there's a group project with Leos. I think it'll be a lot of fun when you guys do get to see it. All right, I did that wrong, but forgive me. There we go. This guy has long forearms. And I noticed a lot on Gunpla. Their proportions are very strange. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying they have really long legs. We all knew that. But their shoulders are usually mounted lower than they should be, and their forearms and their upper arms are a lot differently proportioned than humans. Boom, 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 boom. That was a whole talk. What did I say? I'm kind of scared. Did I give anything away, Jerry? Am I gonna get in trouble? Okay, so right arm now, we're looking at 7 and 6 here. I got that. 7 and 6. Bum, bum. Okay, there's that. That Katoki thing, man. I don't like Katoki's designs, if I'm perfectly honest. He has a different aesthetic. Oh, yeah, no, that was a whole talk. We did kind of go into how creativity isn't really rewarded, so maybe it's a bad idea, Jerry. Maybe we don't want to do those. Maybe we just do stock builds. I'm joking. I say let your creativity flag fly. If they don't like it, at least we will. There we go. I didn't sand that one down. How does it look? Okay, lucky it's not bad. All right, I'm going to choose one of these, and we're going to face it this way. Slide that sucker in. Boom. Yeah, local contests are a thing. You do tend to have success in those guys. And realistically, I think the adoration of your peers is more important than the adoration of a judge. That's just me. I do wish we had more entries in our local contest, though. That's the thing. I think with George in charge, we're going to get more people coming. And I swear to God, if we have contests out here in Victorville, Hesperia, whew, boy, am I going to freaking advertise that everywhere. That's going to be a lot of fun. And I know I talk crap about it competing with you, Jerry, but I do like that you continue to try all the different genres. Like that little Melis Kembu, that guy was so cute. And he did an exceptional job painting it because that little guy, he's got not a lot of square footage on him. There you go. Like this. Boom. This goes in here. There you go, got a click. Oh, someone got bit. There we go. We got an arm. All right, my fingers are literally frozen. I'm going to finish this one up, and then I'm probably going to bring my kid inside because it is really cold out here. We got C16, which is right here. Boom. 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 And B10. Oh. There we go. Look at that fly. There we go. Nip these off. Boom. Boom. Same with this one. And right here. And my dad just bought like a knockoff Dremel from Harbor Freight. It's like 20 bucks. And he goes, "You want to test it out for me on those Gundams?" And I'm like, well, not really, because a Gundam, it might melt if I get it too hot. And he goes, "It's adjustable speed." I'm like, I need to try it then. I haven't figured out what I want to try it out on yet. I am excited to do it though. Okay. So there's his arm. That one's done. Oh. Lay this part back in. Where does this go? This one goes here. Does it? Is that 27? Yeah, that's 27. Did I slide this down? No, it's got to go that way. It's the only way it works. I feel a little silly here, guys. It does go here. You know what? We did it backwards, that's why. Good job, Chris. You're very smart. There we are. All right, so arm number 1 done. And I think that's it for tonight. That is going to be it for this part. I'm probably going to finish this one on my own, but I hope I gave you guys enough little things to think about if you are a beginner. I know my friends and I got to talking, but that's kind of an inevitable thing when you have friends and live streams. So this guy's going to go in the box for now. I'm going to go inside and finish him up. I will show you guys when he's done and when I start painting him. But that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.